Joining the show today is one of us by way of 2 seasons at Shattuck, followed by Judd and Billy trading up one spot to select him 12th overall in the first round of the 2024 NHL Draft. Zeev Buium. Zeev, really appreciate you jumping on here, man.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate you guys for having me.
As you can see, the title of our podcast is Fellowship at the Rink, a little stick tap to Lord of the Rings, one of our fandoms. I wasn't sure if you're a Lord of the Rings fan or if you have a nerd itch or nerddom you have, like a movie series or book series or anything like you do that's kind of off the ice. It's kind of a little different.
I actually just watched all of the Avenger movies last night. So,
Oh.
Yeah, I had a lot of time on my hands. Thought I'd watch some movies.
Sell me on that, because I'm not like big into those ones particularly. Like some of the like individual ones, like Iron Man was okay, Captain America okay, but I never like really dove into the Avengers.
Yeah, I hadn't really watched any of them either. Like that wasn't really my thing, but it's great. I mean, I recommend it for sure. It's definitely a good watch.
Who's the Avenger you're most like?
Oh man, I don't know. I love Hulk, but I'm very far from Hulk. So, but Hulk's definitely my favorite.
Or the guy you'd want to be, the superhero you want to be, I guess. It would be the one you'd want.
Probably Thor. Yeah, Thor's got some power, that's for sure.
To be more of a big defenseman, hulking defenseman there. I think Thor could handle the blue line pretty well.
Yeah.
Now, I got to ask you, because I haven't been there myself. How crazy is the Sphere?
Oh my God, it's ridiculous. I didn't really, so obviously like I've never been in it, but except for the draft, but I mean, walking in, it was just ridiculous. Like the whole setup they have there, like the concourse is just, everything's incredible. And then kind of going down the escalator and you're getting introduced by a robot and you're just kind of, you're not sure really what's going on. But yeah, I mean, it was a crazy experience. I was so close to like the stage, I guess, and closer to the screen. So I if I looked up like too high, I'd start to get dizzy. So yeah, I mean, but it was awesome. It was so cool, and it was an awesome experience.
Man, I can't even imagine. I feel like anywhere you sit in there, though, you'd like look up and feel like you're right next to it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Now, you were runner-up for best soundbite from the draft. You went up there for the interview and you said, "I love Lake Minnetonka. I'd rather spend time there than a beach in California." Now, I got to know, like when you got picked, did you sit there and go, okay, how do I endear myself to Wild fans? Or was that just off the cuff?
Off the go. I mean, I think it's kind of funny how it worked out just because obviously spent so much time in Minnesota, spent a lot of summers there too. So I had a good buddy, Gavin Waltz, who played at Shattuck as well, and me and my brother would go up and stay with him in his house, and it was right on Minnetonka, and it was, I mean, we always say like we'd go back there for any summer. It was awesome and definitely one of the best summers we've ever had.
It's a different world out there, man.
Yeah.
And so how do you feel about Aaron Kiviharju one up? He might have 10 up to you, to be honest, with his soundbite just telling Billy that he had the fucking steal of the draft.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, he's obviously a great kid. I met him at camp, and he's competitive, and that's great. So if anything, just betters all of us, and we're all going to compete with each other, and we all want to play in the NHL one day. So I mean, he's a great kid, and he works hard and believes in himself. So I respect him for that. But yeah, I mean, we're all gonna work hard and have things to prove.
You mentioned the draft, and I think I heard you say something like 85 people, family and friends. Like, who were the distant cousins that came? Who all was part of the group that kind of came to? I know college teammates. I'm sure. Who all came to the draft for you?
Everyone. I mean, I had a good amount of family come from Israel, and for us, it was because my brother, couldn't have a in-person draft because of COVID, so we kind of went all out for me, and very, very grateful for that. I mean, we really couldn't do it without my family and everyone back home in Israel and everything. So that for us was super special for them to come down, especially with what's going on. So it was great for me to see them and be with them in that moment, and also just friends. I mean, some of my best friends, kids I've known for since I was 6 years old. So I just thought that everyone's kind of helped me get to this point and that they should be a part of it.
There's been very few picks, and I mean, Shirk and Scott can speak to this. He's been here longer than I have. Very few years where Wild fans have been this excited over a first round pick. Then when you got, you fell to them basically. I was wondering, where was your read on how the draft would look for you, or did you have any sense of where you might fall, and did you have kind of a sense from just talking to the Wild, your meetings with them, how'd that go in terms of what was your overall read going in, and were you surprised how it went where the Wild got you?
Yeah, I mean, it was weird. I mean, I think for me, all the conversations with the Wild were amazing. I think it almost felt like they kind of loved me the most, and they were definitely a team I really wanted to go to. But just hearing noise, like I didn't know if I'd be there by then. But I went to bed that night not sure where I could be, and just hoping that I go to the team that wants me for me. And so I was super happy that I actually ended up there. And through the whole experience, like, you're not, like, for me personally, I didn't really think like, oh, I didn't go, here, or I didn't go there. I was just kind of like, I just need to go where I need to go. And, hopefully a team picks me up soon. And when I saw them trade up, and we had, obviously conversations throughout before the draft. And I think they were actually going to come out and see me before the draft, and they ended up not. So I knew they had a lot of interest in me. And, so when they traded up, I had a really good feeling that, it was obviously could be me. But it was nothing crazy. I just went into the day being grateful. And, for me just to go in the first round, for my family, it was a crazy day, and, something my brothers and I, dreamed about our entire lives, and, not really expecting, that to be our future and our journey. So, just really grateful for them to pick me. Especially,
I'm sure, gratifying for your parents too. They don't have the typical like Minnesota hockey parents background where the dad has coached hockey his whole life, and all that stuff like that. Just tell us a little more about your folks. And I know your dad, you immigrated over from Israel, and he got his own business, right? And your mom's obviously your carpool queen. Like, give some love to your parents, and give you a little breakdown of like just how much they played a role in kind of where you are right now.
Yeah, they're the best. Like, it's seriously, we definitely couldn't have done it without them. My dad, the hours he works, and when they first moved over, they didn't know a lick of English. And I think my mom told us a story about how when she got pulled over, she couldn't even talk to the cop about what was going on. And so we found that pretty funny. But they both worked jobs, and my dad was trying to build his business from the ground up, and bouncing from house to house, just trying to stay on their feet. And they actually came to the U.S. with, like, I think it was like anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 and one suitcase full with both their clothes in it. So both of them really came from nothing. And to see, my dad's work ethic, my mom's work ethic growing up, and how much they, try to support and provide for us to give us kind of the life that they didn't get to live. And, for us, we've always been grateful for it. And, the older we get, we understand that. And we definitely couldn't have done it without them. And my mom, like you said, the carpool queen, I guess. She's amazing. I say it all the time, but we really believe our mom's a rock star. Like, there's no one in the world like her. Our house doesn't run without her. Nothing goes well without her. If she's gone for whatever reason. I remember she went to Israel when we were kids. It was just me, my dad, and my two brothers, and we had to call her for laundry and food and everything. So she's really the rock to our family. And it's been great to have them in my life and have such great supporting parents. And
what was her reaction when your brothers first asked her about playing hockey? What was her exact
phrase? She said, "Over my dead body." Yeah. Yeah, she didn't. She was a professional women's basketball player in Israel, so her big thing was like, you guys can play whatever sport you want, basketball, football, whatever it is. But when we said hockey to her, she was like, "What the hell is hockey?" So I'm sure they're happy for us now, but in the beginning they were definitely a little bit concerned and confused.
Well, I'm sure you got into the sport because of your brothers too. Having brothers played, is that just something that was kind of natural? Where you probably play other sports too, right? You probably played basketball, you probably played football. Like, was that just something that you knew hockey was your thing?
Yeah, so obviously my cousin, who actually showed us kind of hockey, and Shy, my older brother, would love to go watch him play, and then ended up getting into it after a while of begging my parents. And then my oldest brother got into it, then I got into it. I actually started on rollerblades for the first couple of months just because I don't know, I guess I didn't really hop on the ice yet, but I loved rollerblading around the rink and just kind of messing around with a stick and roller puck. And yeah, I mean, I ended up like falling in love with it like everybody else does. And you know, for us, it was awesome. We played at one of the most fun rinks you can play at. I mean, it's got a barbecue in the backyard. It's one rink. There's only a couple teams. I mean, they're definitely, you know, evolving now and becoming a better program. But when we first started there, it was very, very club and local. And, you know, the only place we really traveled was to San Jose, which was just a few hours up north. So, yeah, I mean, just kind of where we learned to love it. And, you know, I'm super grateful looking back now that that's kind of how it was. And we didn't have anybody pushing us or forcing us to play hockey or, you know, telling us what to do and how to do it. And it was just to learn to play and love it. And, you know, for us, if we loved it enough and, you know, we got good enough at it, then, you know, hopefully we can move on to the next level. So that's kind of what happened.
Scott and I both have young sons or babies now. They're 6 months to a year. And so we'll look forward to driving them to hockey rinks all over the state at some point. But 112 miles is a long way to carpool for practice and for games. And can you paint a picture for us on what those rides were like with your mom in front and you guys? I don't know what you guys were doing for 2 hours.
Yeah, we had a big Escalade. So it was actually the one with like it's kind of like a little TV screen up top. Mm-hmm. So sometimes we kind of bring the Xbox in there. We'll throw a movie on or, you know, do like schoolwork. But, you know, I wasn't the biggest fan of schoolwork in the car. So either take a nap or just do whatever, talk to each other. But, yeah, I mean, the car rides for me being so young, like, I don't know, my brothers can say the same because they're a little bit older, but like it just felt normal. Like I didn't realize like how crazy the drives were when I was younger. Like I thought like the 2.5 hour drives in traffic were just like, oh, everybody does it, you know? So I wasn't really, you know, concerned or like, you know, what's really going on. So, yeah, I mean, for me, it felt normal. I'm sure for my brothers, it probably did too. But, yeah, I mean, even now, like, or when I first started driving, actually, like I'll drive an hour up to see my friends or whatever it is. And they think I'm crazy for driving an hour. But for me, it's like, that's not that much. So, yeah, I mean, it was crazy car rides, but, you know, like I said, very fortunate that, you know, we had parents to do it and make that sacrifice.
And so she bought your dinners. Sorry, she bought your dinners to microwave there too, or like, you know,
yeah. So she would do everything. She'd pack our bags. Because she had to pick us up from 2 different schools. So me and Shy were, you know, in elementary school or whatever. My oldest brother was in middle school. So she'd go pick him up from the middle school and then come pick me and Shy up from the elementary school. And then she'd have our bags packed. Everything is in there. Nothing's missing every time. Food in the car packed, ready to go. And it wasn't like, you know, like Subway or whatever. Like she would cook food for us every day. So it was incredible. Like I said, I mean, it felt normal at the time. And the older we got, we understood how crazy it was and how much effort, you know, they both really put in. So yeah, it was crazy.
So what do you do for food now at college?
Oh, man, I've started getting into cooking a lot. I'm trying to cook more, but probably a lot of DoorDash. Yeah, I'm not the best cook, so I try to, but definitely a lot of DoorDash. And I just got a car, so I'll try to, you know, not cut the DoorDash down and stop being lazy and get in the car and go somewhere to eat.
Who do you look up to playing hockey other than your brothers? Like who are the NHL players you kind of like try to like model your game after? Or who's the guy? Hey, when I get there, if I get there, this is kind of the guy I want to be like.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, Quinn Hughes is probably definitely the guy. You know, I really want to be like. I think when I got to Shattuck, that's kind of started to realize that's the player I kind of want to start to be like. I mean, at the end of the day, I want to be me and you know, not focus too much on somebody else's game. And at the end of the day, I want to have my own style of play. But yeah, Quinn Hughes is definitely that guy. But I mean, growing up, Drew Doughty was my guy. Like I loved watching him and just the way he played and everything, and just being able to kind of see him practice. I mean, we would every Saturday morning we'd have practice or a game or whatever when I played on the Junior Kings, and they would practice, you know, morning skate or whatever in the morning. So we'd always be able to see them. And I thought that was just a really unique and cool experience to be able to see him and watch him just practice growing up. So it was really cool.
There is no love lost between Minnesota Wild fans and Drew Doughty. It's something to behold. They like to say that like we're inside his head, and I can say objectively, Drew Doughty is living rent free in 90% of Minnesota Wildcats, and it's hilarious for me.
Yeah.
But you mentioned Shattuck there. How does a Cali boy end up at Shattuck? This interview is brought to you by our friends at Waggle Golf. Waggle Golf believes what you wear on the course should reflect your individuality, who you are, where you're from, your hobbies, interests, and passions. All the stuff that makes you, well, you. That's why every design is inspired by the desire to create a piece of apparel that strikes a chord when you see it, that makes you say, wow, that was made for me. Because in a lot of ways, it was. Ready to get your Waggle on? Go to getyourwaggleon.com, throw in promo code SP10 at checkout to take 10% off your entire order.
It's pretty crazy. So my oldest brother, who played also at the Junior Kings, he was really good. Actually got recruited to Shattuck first. And he, wasn't too sure, whatever. And my parents obviously were like, what the hell, sending our kids away, like Minnesota, like that's insane. Like, we don't even know what this is. So, Shy, my other brother, I mean, he's like the hockey nerd. He knew everything. He knew that Shattuck was the place we needed to be if, we wanted to kind of move on. So he told our parents, like, this is the place we have to go. Like, this is the dream school, whatever. So, they ended up saying yes. So Ben ended up going, and that summer they actually said, bring Shy too. And so Ben and Shy went in together. Ben ended up leaving just a couple months in. Wasn't for him. I mean, we kind of act like he's the guinea pig, kind of just send him in to test the waters for us and tell us how it is. So after that, I mean, I continued to play the Junior Kings, and I knew that was the place I wanted to end up. So when I turned 13 and was old enough to go to Shattuck, I was like, let's do it. So it was definitely the place I wanted to be.
So Ben's the guinea pig. Oh,
go ahead. Yeah, that's right.
Well, so Ben's the guinea pig. Shy's the one that establishes it and says, yeah, you're coming, Zeev.
Yeah.
Is that pretty much all that happened with Denver? Like, did he make you go, or?
No. If anything, he probably didn't want me to come, but yeah. No, I mean, when I was getting recruited, I'm a late birthday, so they made that rule where you can't talk to colleges until August 1st. I think we have to be 16 or 15. I don't even remember, but I remember, so I couldn't talk to Denver when everybody else was talking to schools. And so I basically had another year to sit on what I wanted to do. And so, I mean, at first you want to, talk to all the schools and this and that. And the more I matured and kind of realized, what Denver is and the type of place it is. I didn't talk to any other schools. I committed, August 1st, Tavis McMillan called me, and he just said, offering you whatever. And I said, I'm in. So I didn't talk to any other schools, committed right away. And very grateful that I did.
You mentioned your brother playing at Shattuck too, and I'm not going to trip on your dad. Your dad did so much for you and excellent HVAC business. But I've heard you tell a story once about him is not the biggest astute hockey fan, I guess.
Yeah.
Remember telling the story about, I guess, him watching, was it watching on his computer or was he watching on TV, like Shattuck game like that? And
yeah. I think it was on like a live barn. It's pretty hard to see, I think, on that. But I mean, he just, like, for him, like, it's never about if we score, if we have a good game or a bad game. Like, he just wants us to have fun, and that's his biggest thing. And I think so the 15s were playing and the 16s. So Shy was on the 16s, and the 15s were also playing the same day and at the same time. And I think it was like whatever, and it was just on the live barn thing, and he clicked the wrong one, I guess. And at Shattuck, there's no last names, so you can't like see who it is. But he ended up watching the entire 15s game, and number 8 on that team, because my brother was number 8 on the 15s team, ended up scoring 2 goals and had player of the game or whatever. And Shy was number 8 on the 16s, and he had a terrible game. And my mom was actually at the game, and my mom's texting him like, Shy's not playing very well, and he's like, what are you watching? Like, are you kidding me? Like, he's playing unbelievable. And so it's just funny because, I mean, it's just for him, like, it's funny because we always mess with him, like, how do you not know who your kid is? Like, you should know, how your kid plays hockey. So I mean, for us, we always joke about it with them and laugh with them about it. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely a one of a kind story.
Now, going into Denver a little bit more, we have to ask, because he was drafted to the Wild before you. Was there a relationship already there? Were you and Rieger Lorenz tight, or what kind of guy are we looking at here that might be joining you in the jump from college to the Wild?
Yeah, I mean, Rieger's awesome. He's a great kid, great teammate. Obviously, a great player, has a great work ethic. Definitely a jokester. Cracks a lot of jokes. So, I mean, I love being around him. Love being here with the team. And when I got drafted to Minnesota, I mean, it's cool for us to be able to share that together and kind of go through these experiences together. So, obviously, he had nothing but good things to say about Minnesota and their organization. And before I, met everybody and meeting everybody, it definitely exceeded my expectations, if anything. So, yeah, I mean, it's awesome to be able to go through it with them for sure.
I was there covering the Frozen Four last year, and there in the dressing room afterwards when you guys were doing your celebrations and everything like that. Just a surreal scene. And I was curious, what was your favorite behind the scenes moment in winning a national title that you'll remember forever, that you'll tell your kids about when you think about that weekend going through it?
Oh man, it's a hard thing to think about. I mean, it's everything. I mean, just from the feeling you have in that last 30 seconds of just, it just feels like the longest 30 seconds of your life of that third period. I mean, it's like you're just waiting for that clock to hit 0. And I mean, it was the greatest feeling I think I've ever had in my entire life. Just the happiness, the relief. It was awesome. And it was the greatest feeling. I think just being in the locker room with the guys after and kind of sitting down and everyone's, jumping around. But when we kind of settled down, everyone's looking at each other and hugging each other. And, I think for me, the moment I think that sticks out the most was when I was on the ice when we just won and I had the trophy and my brother came up behind me and he hugged me. We kind of held the trophy together. And I think we both just kind of started crying. And it was just an unbelievable experience, super humbling experience. And, just seeing our parents right there on the glass and being able to hold the trophy together right in front of them. And I think that's probably what hit me the hardest out of the whole thing. And I mean, after that, it's just crazy celebration. But I mean, getting back to campus too was just incredible. And yeah, it was, the entire thing was just better than anything I could ever imagine.
And you had NHL matchups in that Frozen Four. The guys you went up against, like Celebrini's line, like him from Shattuck too, right? And like that. And so is that even more kind of, you don't need any validation for you, what you do, what you're able to do. But that Frozen Four was, cream of the crop of guys you had to defend then too. Yeah,
I mean, obviously Celebrini, Hudson, the Smith line with Perot and Leonard. I know all those guys, so it's fun to play against them for sure. I remember I was laughing at Smith and Perot and Leonard midway through the game just because we're all good buddies, and it's just funny to think that we're all playing against each other in national championship game. So, I mean, for us, like, we had a great game plan going against all of them, and our team was so bought into doing whatever it took to win, and we were comfortable in those 2-1 games, 2-0 games or whatever. So. It was just, we know what we needed to do, and everyone executed at a really high level, and all the every ego was out the door, and no one was thinking about the points or the goals or who scores or whatever. It was just all about for the team and doing whatever it took to win the game.
You win the championship, which is a goal from everybody who goes to college and plays hockey, especially at Denver. You're a top 10, top 12 pick in the draft. Obviously, you've got teams that are probably like, hey, you're ready to play. What went into the decision to come back another year? And what was the conversation with the Wild and Bill Guerin about that particular process of the back and forth? Or was it easy for you just to be like, hey, I'm coming back one more year?
Yeah, I mean, it's I think when you get drafted, and especially with the year I had last year with the World Juniors and personally how I felt, and also, with the national championship, it's like it was easy to kind of think, oh, maybe I should make the jump. But after everything kind of settled down and talked to my agent, talked to my family, obviously talked to, Billy Guerin, and, they kind of we kind of all, made a decision that the best thing for me is to go back to school. And, that was what was more on my mind, kind of more realistic what I thought was going to happen. And was very, happy and ready to go back to school. I mean, I thought just how my season ended last year and the way where my game was at, I thought coming back to school, building on it for another year and, getting bigger, getting stronger, hopefully going to World Juniors again, trying to defend 2 titles in 1 year, I think is a challenge that, you don't get to approach every year. And, I want to take that on. So I think, it was definitely, it wasn't like a thing where it's like, oh, I had to go back. It was like, I want to go back. This is great. And just being at Denver, everyone here is awesome. We have one of the best cultures, if not the best culture, I've ever been a part of. And so it's awesome. And yeah, very happy to be back.
And while fans saw Brock Faber end his college career, obviously not the way he wanted to end it, but an extra championship game and then join the team end of that year, play a game, and then go in the playoffs right away. And then all of a sudden he's called a trophy guy. He's there for good. Like, do you envision a scenario where after the season ends that, you could be possibly in a Wild uniform? Is that kind of an idea that's been in your head of like, whatever happens this season, you're going to focus on that, but the next step could be as early as the spring?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, I think for me, it's, focusing every day here. I'm 2 feet into Denver right now. And that's how I like to be. I like to be wherever I am. That's where my feet are and keep my mind focused on, what we need to do here. And right now we want to win a national championship. So, that's my main focus. I'm not thinking too much about next year or what happens after that. But, for sure. I want to play NHL as soon as I can and make a difference and help the team and, in whatever way I can. So it's definitely a thing on my mind, but, for me, it's kind of pushing that aside and focusing on what I need to do now. And, when the time comes, if I did everything right and I played my game and, I helped my team here at Denver, I think everything else should take care of itself.
I don't want to pull you too far out of the now mindset, but off-season talk, how's the golf game?
It's getting better. That's for sure. Yeah, it's definitely getting better. It took me a while. I started pretty late. I started kind of after my 17th year at NCDP. And I was trying to figure out whether or not I was a lefty or a righty. So that was difficult, but definitely getting a lot better. I love it. I try to play as much as I can in the off season, and it's definitely something super fun to do, obviously with the boys and just kind of going out there and having fun and not taking it too seriously. So I love it. I got a golf range actually just like 2 minutes from my house. So I'll try to hit that as much as I can.
Nice. Final question brought to you as always by our good friends at Waggle Golf. First, make sure you head over to getyourwaggleon.com, throw in promo code SP10 to take 10% off your entire order. I need 3 names here, Zeev. 3 guys are going to round out your dream golf foursome, dead or alive, celebrity, athlete. I don't care who it is. Who are the 3?
Oh, man. I'll go Adam Sandler.
Oh, I love that. Now, is he in character or is he just Adam Sandler?
Just Adam Sandler. Just see what kind of guy he is. I think I go Kobe Bryant just because I think he's just like so cool and to kind of just see his mindset and pick his brain. And let's see one more. When I think about this, I don't want to say someone bad. Oh, man. Maybe like Bobby Orr.
Okay.
Yeah, in there. Yeah.
I respect that. That's a pretty good crew. And I imagine from the way you presented it, you're sitting with Sandler in the cart.
Yeah, definitely sitting with Adam Sandler. That's for sure.
That sounds like a great time. Oh, man.
I like to laugh, so I'd love to hear what that guy has to say.
I can't even imagine at this point, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is there Happy Gilmore 2 coming out? Isn't there Happy Gilmore 2?
There is. Yeah, there is a Happy Gilmore 2 coming out.
That's going to be electric. I'm so excited for it. Well, we really appreciate the time here, Zeev. We might have to, loosely commit you here that if you guys make it to St. Louis, we might have to get you back on here for a quick preview beforehand. But
yeah,
awesome getting to know you, letting the fans know a little bit more, see behind the curtains, and best of luck moving forward with both the Denver season and defending World Junior Gold.
I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you guys for having me on.
No problem. Take care. All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Have a good holiday.
Yes. Yeah, you too. Thank you.